Overhead Athletics. We're back with another athlete. We have a softball player today. She has basically generalized hypermobility. Can you do this for me really quick? You can see how much internal rotation she has. She's got a good amount of external rotation. Bring your arms across chest. She can go pretty far that way. Give me this assessment. She can touch her thumb here. So she has generalized hypermobility, and that's something that, hey, over time maybe she's predisposed to more arm pain during throwing, more risk of injury, strains and sprains primarily. And so we're trying to offset some of that multidirectional instability at the shoulder, chronic instability throughout the entire movement apparatus, throughout the entire system, with getting her stronger. She's doing therapy right now with a good physical therapist, and we're trying to say, okay, what can we do in conjunction to all the strengthening and stabilization work they're doing there, which is how can we improve her throw? We were just talking about this the other day because we've done some looks into how does the arm respond and how does the arm fare with instability in relation to arm pain. And athletes who have greater amount of instability tend to have more arm discomfort and decreased performance in the throw. But we can mitigate some of that by getting them to use their body much more efficiently. So she's trying to put off surgery potentially, and she's an athlete who wants to play at the next level. We've got to get her to use her body better in the throw, and maybe we can get her to move more through her body to decelerate her arm, rotate away from the target, and actually stabilize more through her shoulder to get her to be successful long term. So it's a real interesting case. We see this a lot, more so with female athletes than males in regards to instability. We've talked about whether this could be some sort of congenital inherited thing, but in reality, when you have multidirectional instability, you want to get to the point where you move as little as possible through the shoulder and as much as possible through the torso, through the hip, through the legs, so on and so forth. So if you watch the most elite athletes who have thrown the longest amount of time, whether they have instability or not, what you'll see is that they move a lot and they load through their body, they follow through with their body, and they do a lot less movement through the shoulder. The shoulder stays relatively stable, their angle stays stable where they're at shoulder height throughout the throw. So we're dealing with an athlete like this, and we'll try to keep posting you guys with some updates on what we're actually working on. But our goals here, and this is our first day in, our goals here are to really start to train her to utilize her body more efficiently, rotate away from the target, rotate as much as we can, and acquire as much rotation as we can through the trunk, so she has to do less motion through the shoulder. We know the shoulder is more stable out in front, out here, and that's where the system can actually tolerate a lot of these external rotation torques and internal rotation torques. And she's got apprehension back in internal rotation as you drop her behind the scapular plane, and behind the scapular plane and external rotation, which are a general apprehension position at the shoulder. And if we bring her out forward, it's decreased. So those are going to be some of the things we work on in our throw. But just a couple points on generalized hypermobility. Some things we're going to work on, especially with an athlete such as Emma, who has aspirations of playing at the next level. If we can get her a little more pain-free and able to tolerate the loads of the throw a little better, there's some movement and alteration, we're going to be very successful. So that's our general schema when we look at instability of the shoulder, is get athletes to move as little as possible through the apparatus or the component of the apparatus that has too much slide and glide occurring. We'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to hit thumbs up and subscribe.